your soul love.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And we are back with you for another segment of our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. And usually at this time, we receive commentary from Kingsley DeFreitas. We're hoping that as Kingsley we answered. Kingsley?
Yeah, good morning.
All right.
My phone, so I decided to use this phone. Somebody lent me a phone, so I'm using their phone.
Okay,
but
cool.
Here what happened, right? Here what happened. Morning radio is very important to the people of Service and Grady. I believe by now, you know it have people who switch from one to the other station every morning. Mm. We live in a 2x4 country. Jews will say it ain't good to mention other station and our station but we know who they are, and people go from one station to the other, and if they find you interested, they will stick around to see if you're being infectious in terms of your comment. And I enjoy doing that because I make no bones. I do that. I switch around, and when about 7:30, I come to WEFM to get the traffic talk and if I will get in my commentary. So it's important that people understand that the customer is always the final product that is business people trying to peeve. WEFM is competing in the morning radio arena, and I think that both of you are trying our best to make sure that all have some impact on the minds of the listeners. It will take some time, like I tell you, Ms. Samuel, but you have to persevere and make sure that you're doing what you think is good. But along the line, you may make some mistake unconsciously. Your intention is not to defame or to say anything that you shouldn't say, but how could you be in the studio, somebody call, and you are held responsible for what the person say? That will be an unfair position for you to find yourself in. And management and owners of radio stations have to understand that this is where the box stops. You have to give your radio announcer some time to see if he or she can process what is being said by the person who called. I agree with you. You're not going to sit in the WEFM studio and hear somebody making a different statement and continue, because I noticed here Mr. Hamilton call you and you say Queens and you say, oh, Mr. Hamilton, you tricked me, use a different phone. I like that about Mr. Hamilton sometimes when he use different phone, because you get the impression that radio announcers get familiar with his number and they find a way to avoid him. But I like that method that people must not know that you're calling. But I noticed that you did answer me because you probably recognized the number from the last time I called. But I am just hoping that you and the young lady will pay attention to what is taking place. Don't bother with people who tell you about, are they right up there? No, are they trying to get there? Compete with some people who hit and they say they're missing. Compete with some people who say they're hot when they're not really hot. Compare with some people who they're booming all over. You understand that you are in an environment where you are competing for morning radio, and you have a responsibility. And I say you, Miss Samuel, because I think that while the other young lady is supporting you, I think that people gravitating to you because you comes over like an energizer bunny who like to talk, and I like that about you also. That is one aspect of you that gravitate and my attractiveness to you on the radio. So I am hoping that you don't get discouraged. You continue to support each other. And you will, one of these days, you will say, I did it my way and I have arrived. Because over a period of time, Morning Radio and WEFM will succeed. Yes, I know they've been at it for quite some time. But because of the competitive nature and because of some of the loud talk people, they seem to attract people to listen to them. But here what is important is you will deal with the content and how people receive the information. I felt discouraged because one of our regular caller who called soon after me made some comments I don't think was necessary. And you said that Kingsley, don't be discouraged. Because I often wonder why people find ways to discourage you from doing what you do. But I did appreciate your effort, but you tried to tell. Let me say good morning to Josh. I hope he's listening. That having people listen, because we tell you something, Alexander, it's are people who will listen to WEFM every morning just to hear what I am going to say. And they have people who listen, hoping that will make a mistake, and they will say, let me dial Jews and get on to the president of the association, Jews I told you so. And in the back of my mind, I listen to that every day, and I'm hoping that I could improve as much as I want you to improve. And you and Miss, what's her name again? What's her name?
Dianna.
Dianna, have a wonderful day, and I see you bright and early right here tomorrow morning, okay?
All right, Kingsley, have a good one today. Thanks.
Okay. Right.
All right, so that was Kingsley there with his commentary, which I had addressed just now, but I see somebody is calling, so let's take the call. All right, hi Joshua, good morning.
Good morning. Before I lose my main reason for calling, would you kindly permit me to wish Judge Ricky Burnett of Calder a very happy birthday?
Sure.
Now, this gentleman, happy birthday, Ricky Burnett. This man is a very humble Vincentian. And might I add, he is a Mespo man. His status has not changed at all. He's one of the most humble individuals I've ever encountered in life. So happy birthday, sir. And Yulan,
Which one of us?
We have anybody.
Okay.
We have I've been asking for this for the longest while. What you need is a mission statement, so you would not be faced with the problems that or the issues that Kingsley just mentioned. So if you have a mission statement, you stick to your mission statement, and you're good to go. And I'm glad that you highlighted visitors, the way you treat visitors. You know, whenever I come to St. Vincent, the areas where I go where people just ignore me. When I go into a shop, I don't go to a shop to look around. I go to a shop to spend money, and very often I'm ignored. Where I get excellent service is at Jack's. I love Jack's, and there's this place across from the post office that sells souvenirs. When I walk in there, man, if I ask the staff to sweep the dust under my feet, they would do it. Excellent service. I get excellent service from the New Montrose Hotel, the Alexandria Hotel Alexandria, and that restaurant upstairs, the Cobblestone. Some other areas I go and they would ignore me completely because I don't look white and I don't look like if I have money to spend. And again, in the service industry, the taxi industry, there's some good taxi drivers, but some others really clean up their act. They want to share a ride, which you don't. I don't know about St. Vincent, but in Bermuda, when you hire a taxi, it's your taxi. The taxi driver cannot stop to pick up somebody else. No smoking. No, you need to brush up on all those things. Because when we as Black people come to St. Vincent to visit, we come as visitors, and believe it or not, your Black tourists are the biggest money spenders wherever you go. I'm telling you from experience. So have a great day and keep it real.
All right. Thanks, Joshua. All right. Any thoughts with regards to what Kingsley said?
Not come back. Make a wrongs.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought there.
All right. So with regards to what Kingsley said, the competitive arena of morning radio commentary. So Joshua, the station does have a mission statement. So that's just one thing to take off that list of comments, right? The thing with morning radio, I do recognize, even for some of our listeners, that they do switch stations, right? And I always find it interesting that I think my mother is also an interesting person who she has like a schedule of different radio stations and different programming, right? Like for me, if I'm on a station, I'm on a station. I would hardly switch stations, right? Because I just don't. But I've recognized that there are some persons, especially if you are home, that you would switch to this station for this particular topic, switch to another station for this or that. So you get your full bit of information from different stations. And, you know, that is all just fine. When it comes to, let me speak for myself. Dianna will speak for herself just now. One of the things with me with morning radio is I have friends, and I am not going to try to be beefing with any friend who is working on a different radio station also, whether it's morning radio or otherwise, right? What it is that I am trying to be here. This is my authentic self, right? What you hear me say on air is what it is. Well, no, sometimes it's a little bit more polished on air, right? Because my real thoughts, I can't always express on air. But people who know me well enough would know that for the most part, this is the authentic me that is coming out. And I think this is one of the challenges initially that I faced when I started doing morning radio, in that part of me wondered if what was needed was an act for entertainment, or an act to be able to compete with other stations or other personalities. And if I am to put on an act, it means that that is not my authentic self. And it's something that I absolutely positively cannot and will not do. All right. So let me just make that known. What it is that I can also appreciate with what we have here is, so yes, I recognize that for many persons, they like the sensationalism, right? They like to, and this is not in any way trying to pull down any other station or whatever. To each their own, and each station would have their own type of listeners, right? But for me, I cannot come here every day and talk politics. I know that maybe that is what many persons would love to hear in terms of the constant talking of politics. I personally can't do it. I personally cannot have a conversation or a one-track type of conversation where, you know, for in some regards, it could just be draining. And to me, it also may not show the wide range of topics or conversations that you can have, right? So this is why for us, we try to tailor it up or try to mix it up so that it doesn't seem as if we're just hammering onto one particular point all the time. Now, whether or not that is working for you as listeners, it's for you to tell us, all right? But it is just not something that I could do or I would want to do, right? But I will just say that as much as, you know, there are times when I come on here and I would say things that, of course, ULP persons are not in agreement with, or NDP persons are not in agreement with, you challenge me on air. And I have no problems with the challenging on air, because to me, that is what makes it interesting. And these are the types of conversations that we should be having, where I'm able to express my view, and whether or not you're in agreement, then you state such on air, right? I have no problems with that. And what it is that I've be very honest, is that persons have been respectful. We don't agree. And at the end of it, we laugh it off. Tomorrow is always another day to have a brand new topic. All right. So I wouldn't necessarily say that so far that it is so challenging for me. There are times when it can be, but it's not necessarily overwhelming. So Kingsley, if you just wanted to hear my thoughts with regards to how it is that I view morning radio or my role in morning radio, that is what it is for me. All right. So I suppose it would be up to the listeners and management to decide how long I continue to stay on. But I am trying my best, and Yeah, I'm a conversationalist. I can generally hold a conversation about just about almost anything, you know, and if I can't, then I stay out of it. So yeah, that's it. I done.
Well, before I even start talking about the commentary, as we are on the topic of morning radio, it's officially been a year since I have been
Congrats to
here.
you. Congrats,
Yes,
congrats.
thank you. So you remember when I know come and I was writing things down. This one.
Yeah, we could, and then you could go back into your commentary. No,
Oh,
Jeff.
the
Call.
sorry. All right, so we get back to that. Hi, Jeff. Morning.
Morning. Yes, as King say, I do switch radio stations.
Okay.
I go from if I'm listening to something and I'm not particularly interested in that topic, or even on commercial breaks. Like when you guys have breaks, I will switch to another station to know what's going on. So I'm wondering if something happened to Kingsley, because I was watching his program last night and he went off air early. He had several people called in, etc. So I don't know if that was it, but they said the video. Talked about the video, waiting for video something, but he went off early last night. So I don't know if he had a problem with somebody calling last night. But one has to be very, very careful too when people call in and say what they're saying. You know? So I try to be as much as I can, even though I had a little incident here. Well, my incident when I mentioned about what's the name? I mean, Kingsley. What I did ask the question if he was at the game before I say what I say. I didn't mean it derogatorily like that.
And I suppose you thought when you respond, you thought it was from an authoritative source. So yeah.
Because I did ask a question first. You know, did Dr. Thomas say he was there? And you guys said yes. And then I said that, you know, but I'm not saying he was a dog. I say, you know, they put his tail light. But anyway, that is that. But one has to be very, very careful. You know, when people call in and start saying things, you gotta be happy, hand on that button and say, oops, it's gone, you know? All right. Continue to listen.
All right. Have a good one, Jeff. All right. Give a bang.
Right. So I was saying it's been officially a year. It's officially been a year. So I just want to big up Roleza, big up Karen, big up Crystal. No big up for Rachi.
You can see Bossy Do just now, right?
Right, for all the things that you guys taught me. Look at me. Remember when I came here and I was writing stuff in a book because I thought I wouldn't remember. Now look at me. Right. So, and of course, special thanks to all of the listeners, those who I have communicated with privately, those who talk to us here, those who have given their encouragement and all of that. Let me see if I could call some names real quick. So Dan, Mrs. Mocketon, Clare Valley, those are two who come to my mind right now. My cousin who lives in England. Yeah. So those persons who have shown me support, I really, really appreciate that. When it comes to morning commentary, I've observed even before I came on radio, and I think one of the big problems about the commentary is not necessarily, well, we do have a problem with some people and some of the things that they say, but you'd realize that Vincent Chans like a particular kind of discussion. And you could come up with as beautiful a discussion as you think, and you may only have one or two people involved in that particular discussion. When you come with comments and you come with things that just
politics.
And of course, that's, you know, the big one. When you come with things like that, persons gravitate towards that. I would not necessarily say that's a problem with the announcers or the persons who are giving commentary or whatever. It's just what the people are showing that they like. It's what they're showing interest in, right? When it comes to that particular issue, I don't know what we could do. I don't know what we could do about that one, because if people like what they like. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Calling from Barbados.
All right.
I want to say that WEFM is my favorite station. I listen to everybody on WEFM. But I find that WEFM, to me, won't organizing properly. By that I mean, okay, let me compare WEFM to a station in Barbados. You can't come on no radio station in Barbados and say what we feel like saying. They got them buttons, they call them. And they hit that button and you're gone.
And say what?
And there's a 26. Pardon?
No, you said you can't come on WFM and say what?
No. I say in Barbados, You cannot come on a radio station, any radio station, and say what you want to say.
Oh.
Because they have a 20-second delay system with a dumb button that'll cut you out. So you really can't put the station in a problem to get for any suing or anything to happen against them. I think the stations in St. Vincent, especially WEFM, my favorite station outside of Barbados, I really think that y'all need to organize better. And I listen to Kingsley all the time. And the thing that I don't understand about Kingsley, and he got to cut that out, is when he keep talking about he know that somebody can call Jews and tell Jews this and tell Jews that. And if he is, it is, I want Kingsley to know that it is as dangerous to be overprotective as it is to be underprotective, because he could be concentrating so much on what he's saying that he might say the wrong thing. And then the very thing that he's trying to avoid happening would happen. So he got to just come on the program with a nice free mind and carry on with it. Because I listen to Kingsley, a good little time. I even met Anita through Kingsley's show, So I think that y'all need down there a button that will touch it, the caller gone. And if you suspect that it could cause the staff or the station any stress, you cut out them people. And I think that's the way ready to go, because people listen to the stations for knowledge and for exchange the knowledge, I would say, and not to hear people come a lot of negativity and a lot of foolishness on national radio. And then again, St. Vincent is very polarized. It's a very polarized place. So, and I want to say that my parents are from Steps. Okay. I'm a Horn. Born in Barbados, living in Barbados, but my parents are from Steps. So I always consider myself half Vincentian, half Bajan. Okay. So anyway, I just got to say those few things, those few words, and I want Kingsley to stop talking about what somebody can tell Jews. What to tell Jews, they tell Jews. The thing is that he may not say something, but then somebody might still call Jews and tell you something negative, and he will still probably find himself in hot water. So just concentrate and don't be fast to speak. Just concentrate, and when you can say something, you think about what you can say before you actually say, and he'll be all right. But to me, I don't like when he always saying this thing, what he always talking about. Somebody can call Jews and tell Jews something this and tell Jews that. Kingsley got to be more positive than that.
Okay.
Anyway, dears, I thank y'all for listening to me.
No problem. We thank you for expressing your feedback. I think it's the first time you're calling our program, so we're happy to hear you.
Yeah. But I normally call WEFM, and sometimes I will call Rashid, Providence. We will have a nice. Okay. Yeah, Raji. We will have a nice conversation because they find him to be a very smart fella, a very intelligent fella. And I like talking to intelligent
Rajiv?
people.
Rajiv?
Yes, Raji Providence.
All right.
He's a very smart fella, a very intelligent fella. I like to talk with him. I like to talk with him. He's a good guy.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. So somebody there is also agreeing that there should be the delay system in place. All right. Well, I'm sure management is listening. So, all right. So we need to head on out. Anything final, Dianna? There?
No.
Yeah.
I'll stay there for now.
All right. So we see somebody else calling, but we would allow that thought in the next segment. All right, because we definitely do have to head on out. But yeah, it is can be a challenge, but to know it, we are trying. All right, so that's it. Heading on.